really quick and talk about um, why I believe it's important to have active listening skills for leaders, right? Um, a lot of times people are listening or people are hearing you, but they're not listening. And it can be frustrating if you're trying to share information, especially when that information is beneficial really for the person that should be listening that's not listening. So I just wanted to share this information. Hopefully, you can benefit or share the information with somebody who needs to get better at listening, right? And I'm learning too. We're all growing together. That's the goal here. First thing is, listening versus hearing. I think this is one of the biggest ones, and that's why I didn't mind starting off with this because a lot of times if somebody is talking, you may be hearing them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're listening. And there's probably been one example or another that you can think of where somebody was talking and you were hearing them, and the minute they ask, "So what do you think?" and you're like, "Oh shit, what'd you say again? Repeat that." And the reason is you weren't listening. You were hearing them talking, but you were tuned out, zoned out into another conversation, or your mind was elsewhere, right? So that's the biggest thing. Are we listening when we're supposed to be, or are we just hearing the person talking and we're just hearing the noise? Um, Number two, builds trust, right? And allows people to realize that we understand them. If we're giving somebody information or trying to help somebody and it requires us to have a conversation and we're talking and we know that they need help, matter of fact, they might have even come and asked for the help, and here we are trying to give them the information and they're not even paying attention, right? Maybe there's face to face interaction and there's no eye contact, or you can see that the body language shows that they're not interested. All of these things can turn the presenter or the speaker or the helper away or off from helping you. So keep that in mind. Why? What's another reason that it's important to be an active listener, in my opinion? You get better at problem solving. A lot of the times people ask a question to get the answer to a problem, but if they're not actively listening, then they miss out on the answer, which is how they can solve the problem. And the good thing is, if you were listening, nine times out of 10, Wilbert, what's happening? If you were listening nine times out of 10, you weren't the only one that had that question. So a lot of times by just actively listening, getting the answer, we can now provide that answer, that solution that somebody else may be looking for. So it helps to just pay attention when somebody's talking. Another thing, communication is key. I say this all the time. You've heard the saying conversation rules the nation, right? A lot of us are pretty good with our conversation, but every last one of us could get better. And it just takes time, just like everything else. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes putting in the reps. But sometimes people are too busy, so they don't spend time on getting better. They don't spend time. Brittany, what's happening? Ocean Springs, I see you. Um, some people don't spend the time to just get better. The goal, I think personally, each and every day when I wake up, man, if I have breath in me, let me see, just like I'm doing now, if I can share something of value, even if it's for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, if people can get some value from it, man, that's 4 minutes well spent. If the communication skills improve in that 3 minute and that 4 minute, man, that's 4 minutes well spent, right? Sometimes I think we have to look at the small wins. Anthony, I see what's happening. We have to look at the small wins and some of the things that we're doing, our activities, right? Um, Better teamwork, right? Imagine working for a company where you work in a team or you work with a group of people and it's not just you working on a solo project and you can't communicate. I appreciate you, Carson. um, Communication again can help you in so many places. What I was saying was teamwork. I've worked in several places where communication pretty much is 90% or more of the job. It's not where you're using your hands or, building things or creating. You're talking to people, using your mouth. And it's amazing how many people struggle with just being able to communicate. And what I always think about is for some people that have professions or careers where they're using their muscles, their hands, their bodies, think about somebody who's working on a roof or working in a construction site. Communication is probably not necessarily their strongest suit, but if they worked on getting better every day, I guarantee you they could get better. Sometimes people aren't focused on that. That's okay. There's a lot of distractions, which is why sometimes I say, what do you really want out of life? And how much time are you spending working towards that thing that you're looking for, that goal that you want, right? And I think sometimes people overlook how much of an asset communication can be. That's why I'm talking about communication here. Steve, you should find a comedian to help you put together some of these jokes, these nice fried chicken jokes that you got going on here, man. Get on the stage somewhere, deliver the jokes, get some communication skills, build that up, and I'm sure you'll definitely find some people to pay you. Moving on to number 6, I believe. Better customer service, right? If you're in a business and 99% or more of your business is communicating with people and you have people that don't have communication skills working with you, it's going to be a rough time, not only for you, but for the customers as well. And I always think that the best businesses have set up a win-win situation where the business is winning, the customers winning, everybody's winning. It's a winning situation and everybody's happy. Um, oh my God. Anyway, win-win situations, man. That's what I like to see. And I know for a fact that if you have good people that are working with you and have good communication skills, they're going to impact the service. The level of service is going to go up dramatically because of just communication sometimes. And that could make or break your business. Sometimes the people that are working at a company, you walk in, you say hello, and you can tell right away they don't want to be there. And the first thing that always comes to my mind is, man, how come you're here? Find something else that you're happy doing if you're not happy doing this, or I don't know, but just don't be here and bringing your attitude or the negativity to the table when you have to communicate with people that did nothing to you. And I'm sure we've all seen those people. Help them out next time. Just pull them aside, maybe have a quick convo. Increase your communication skills with talking to random strangers. Sometimes that helps. Um, it helps to reduce conflict, man. If you walk up and there's two people getting ready to throw down, right? And you can walk in the middle and say, whoa, 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 whoa. And you could have a quick convo and have words diffuse the situation, right? That's a good thing, right? A lot of times, communication can solve a lot of problems, but people haven't sat down to have the conversation. So it's important, again, on so many levels to be good with your words. Jim Rohn is one of the guys that I listen to a lot. And he says, there's something I was watching. He says, don't be lazy with your language, right? Don't be lazy with your language. A lot of us are lazy with our language because we're not reading, we're not exposing ourselves to other people to have conversations with, to hear new words that we're like, man, what the hell does that word mean? Let me go look it up. Let me find out, right? One of the words that I learned a long time ago that I thought was pretty cool is moxie. So if you guys don't know what moxie is, just go look that up. It's a pretty cool word, the definition, the meaning of it, and the way that it sounds. You know, I heard somebody say it or it came up in a book, but oh man. But anyway, moxie is the word, man. It's a good word. Try to find new words and just increase your vocabulary. I remember, growing up as a kid, I used to tell my mom sometimes when I'm bored, I want to go do this, I want to go do that. She used to be like, man, go read a book, increase your vocabulary. I'm like, damn, learn never to say that I'm bored around moms again. Anyway, what did I wanted to say? What did I want to say? Boost your leadership skills. That's another thing. A lot of times we talk about leaders, and some of the leadership traits, leadership qualities that people have. And I think just about any leader, yeah, moxie is a cool word. I'm glad you looked it up too. Moxie's a cool word. Um, any leader that you can think of right now, off the top of your head, I'm pretty sure, and I'm willing to bet that they're probably a good communicator. And the reason I think it's important for a leader to be a good communicator is because you're always going to be helping people. You're always going to be talking to different people, different backgrounds, different religions, different races, different whatever. But if you're able to have a communication conversation and communicate effectively with pretty much anybody, then that's an improved, increased valued person, because now they can create peace when two people might be at war. And based on their level of expertise when it comes to communication, they might be able to step into the situation and say, hey, and be referee, fix it all, right? Don King. Hey, Steve, man, I appreciate you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Um, Another good reason that I think it's important to have active listening skills and work on that and improve your communication skills. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Is it encourages lifelong learning, for me at least. I consider myself to be somebody who's going to be learning until, just it's not working anymore, until my brain is not allowing me to take in any more information. But at this point, I think there's so much that we can learn as individuals, as human beings, that we're not necessarily taking advantage of all the time. What do you need?
Don't take these ends though.
My daughter got big hair, and apparently I'm the only one who
You
can
have
put
big
this
hands.
put this
Tell me
big
who has
hair
the biggest hands
in a
in the
freaking
family.
ponytail.
In our family living
If
here.
you guys know anybody in California that can braid Napa Valley, please, please, I beg of you, send their info my way, because this is ridiculous. Okay, move that big hair out of here. Good night.
Good night.
Lifelong learning, man. That's what I was talking about before I was rudely interrupted. Lifelong learning. I consider myself to be a lifelong learner. There's so many things we can learn, not enough time. And if we're actively, intentionally investing the time that we have on learning new things every single day, can you imagine, you know, 365 days in a year? I just threw out Moxie, and Extra said, hey, um, uh, Moxie says that's a good word. He looked it up already. Imagine if you took a word every single day and you just learned that word, used it in a couple of sentences, got familiar with it, how much improvement you would have as far as communication by the end of the year. It's little simple things like that that sometimes we neglect to do, and we get lazy with our language, and it costs us later, and we wonder why, or we look at, who we can point the finger at or blame for certain things. But at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. All I say is, if we can just strive for being better every day, that's a good thing. If we can, fill our cups enough to be able to pour a little bit for the next man when they're thirsty, that's a good thing, right? That's it, man. Good learners come from great teachers. At some point, we always have to be a good follower and learn how to be a good leader. Sometimes people just want to lead without any skills, without any tools to actually lead people. But they want that position, they want that title just so they can say, I am the leader, I am the boss, I am the whatever, right? I could care less about titles, right? Which is, another video I'm going to do is going to be in regards to professions and careers. I think sometimes just talking to people, some people won't say this bluntly, but they feel like their profession might be better than yours, or the work that they do is more valuable than the work that you do. And I think everybody's work is valuable, right? And it depends on who you're doing the work for and what the level of value that they're going to attach to that work is. But it's all valuable work, just like all work works if you work it, right? But everybody has their own definition of success. Everybody has their own goals, their own dreams, and everybody's work doesn't work for everybody. And that's why we have the freedom to choose, the freedom to use our own brain, come up with ideas, and take advantage of opportunities that suit us. But at the same time, we can still keep learning and understanding other people, getting better at communicating with these people, because we're in a people helping people world. That's the world that we live in. And the last part of, communication and listening skills is that we can build a connection, right? There's a lot of people that I didn't know before this particular live, and now everybody's here, everybody's leaving comments if they feel like it, and they're giving their input. That input right now, some of it is, empathetic, some of it is positive, and some of it is comedy, right? But it's all communication that's happening, and it's all good. Every time I show up, the goal is to just show up and share. It's kind of like show and tell, right? It's kind of like show and tell when you're in school. You came and you brought in whatever it is that you were going to show, and you talked about it. And a lot of times when you think about the things that you did in school, because the teacher told you, or because it was an assignment, you did it and you got your grade and it was all good. But you think about life, the way that we live and the freedom that we have to do what we do. If you could create a show and tell situation to be able to impact lives and bless people with information and value that you've picked up along this journey, this life that we're living, think about what is it that you can give back? What experiences might you have gone out and had that somebody else missed out on? It could be beneficial to them, right? So these things that we're talking about as far as value, right? Things that we're talking about as far as improving ourselves as human beings, being able to communicate better, communicate more effectively, right? These are all choices. So everyone has a choice to get up in the morning and do whatever they want to do, or pull the sheets over their head. But the question I started asking myself, a couple of years ago is, what is the thing that's making me excited about my life? That's making me excited about the fact that I woke up this morning and I'm jumping out of bed, not wanting to waste time pulling the blankets over my head and get 5 more minutes, right? I don't know if you felt that way before, but time for me is more precious. I have two little ones, one of which was just here trying to get her hair in a ponytail, right? 11. And I have a 4-year-old boy, and my parents are older. So, um, I appreciate you, man. Feel free to subscribe if any of this is beneficial and helpful. Um, there's so much happening in life, man, and I think the more I experience, I start realizing how much valuable time that we have here is. So I just want to experience as much as I can. If you guys have been aware and paying attention, I'm sure at some point or another you've heard time is money. Time is money. And I'm just gonna tell you on this conversation. I said it earlier today too, and it keeps coming in my head because I keep thinking of time. Time is so much more valuable than money. And whoever said this that made it click to me, they used an example and they said something like, You know, if you believe that time is money, like people tell you, then find somebody and tell them, hey, look, I'll give you $1 million right now if you kill yourself and give me your life, or I'll give you $1 billion, kill yourself and let me get your life. And nobody will take that deal because obviously their time is worth more than that money. So when you look at time as valuable as that, then you're going to spend or you're going to invest that time doing things that actually matter. For me, man, my family is a big part of why I do what I do. Obviously, you want to take care of your family, you want to give back and make sure that everybody's taken care of, especially if they've been looking out for you too. So sometimes, the family, the friends, the circle that we have, it might not be the circle that we need to get to where we want to go, to reach the goals, the destination that we have, the vision that we have it can't be hit. It can't be done with that same group. It says sometimes we have to grow into the person that we need to be able to handle the responsibility that we're asking for and we're praying for. And sometimes we haven't developed ourselves into that person. So that's why we haven't seen what we're asking for. So I hope there was at least one piece of this conversation, that was valuable for you. And if it was, feel free to like the video, share the video, subscribe. And tomorrow's another day. Hopefully, we get another opportunity to get better and improve and help somebody else that's on this journey. I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you guys on the next one, man. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one.